Welcome to all landscape design and architecture lovers. It's me, Renzhin Sergey, and if you decide to study landscape lighting, then this video will be helpful to you. Here I'll tell you about 5 ways to make beautiful landscape lighting. Let's start with the best way to implement navigation lighting in the landscape today. Light columns. There are a huge number of different light columns with different appearance, height, width, with different body shapes with different light effects because they are very popular and appropriate. It's important to remember that a light column isn't only a navigational lighting, but it can be an element of landscape emotional lighting, unless of course is correctly designed. For example, if it has a rotatable upper part, then it can shine not only on the pathway but also on some cool bush. Thus we get both landscape and navigation lighting at the same time. When choosing light columns, it's important to remember 2 main rules. The first rule is there are no light columns capable of realizing beautiful landscape lighting that work from light batteries, unless, of course, you accidentally are a neighbor of Elon Musk and he can throw a cable from his solar panels. And the second rule, if you don't want to create parasitic illumination, make sure the light source isn't visible in the light column, so the light falls on the landscape or on the pathways, or light source should be almost invisible. Well, for example, it would be hidden behind a good diffuser. The second way I really like is ground lamps, but you need to be extremely careful with this device. There are 2 different types of them. The first type is marker lamps. Their function is to show navigation distance, pathway, for example, from the main house to the arbor. At the same time, they will shine on their own, not on the surface. And the second one is functionally directed lamps. The ground lamp shines directly on the surface and illuminates the pathway where we need. Every day I do lighting projects for urban, suburban, real estate and landscape in my Studio 500 Lux. So, we don't release videos on YouTube so often, but it's always useful. Therefore, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. The third super popular solution in landscape lighting is directional light. There are a huge number of different kinds due to different types of landscape. They can be on pegs, they can be on graceful thin legs, or they can be directly on the ground. The main purpose of this solution is to highlight necessary elements of the landscape with correctly selected optics, color, temperature and power. The main thing that you should be guided when using this method is the answer to the question, our favorite question: why do we use this lamp and why does it illuminate this part of the landscape? The fourth cool solution is powerful ground lamps for lighting grounds of tall trees. There are not as many of them as, for example, directional lamps, because they have one function: to raise the tree and the crown from under the ground to the full height. And here the most important thing to remember is one main golden rule. Before we place this lamp, we must be 1,000,000% sure that this light will never get into your or into customer eyes. Because if this happens, there will be a very bad light burn. Those lamps are all powerful and very narrowly targeted. Therefore, the beam is much focused and narrowly targeted, super dangerous for the human's eyes. Thus, when we design or use such lamp, we must be 1000% sure that never, under any circumstances, neither the child nor the customer will look down at it and receive a light burn. Well, the last, 5th method, which I personally really like because it's strongly associated with design work. I'm talking about floor and table lamps. There is always an artist or some designer behind the creation of such lamps. That's why I call them designer. The purpose of these lamps isn't just to shine on the surface, for example, of a table or to light the space in arbor, but at the same time it should look cool and elegant. Therefore, this is matter of taste. There are a lot of types of these lamps. This is a matter of design and appearance. Often you should focus on one most important rule. Most of these fixtures are not sealed, so they are not recommended for outdoor use. But technology allows you to use lamps on batteries. Usually they are carried out in the evening. and brought back when there is no celebration outside. We need this lens because, well, in 95% of cases, customer forgets to pull the lighting on the terrace or, for example, doesn't know until the end where his outdoor dining table will be, where guests will gather, because if it's an event, it's impossible to predict it. It's super convenient for this thing to move around. The main thing to remember is that it needs to be removed at night, because it's not sealed. Thanks for watching this video. Write in the comments below topics that would be interesting to you. I'll be happy to make video on them. If this video was useful, give it thumbs up. Thank you, and see you in our next video.